great state Senator Julian Cyr. Good morning. My name is Julian Cyr. I represent 20 communities across Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, and Nantucket in the Massachusetts Senate. I'm the youngest member of the Senate, and along with my good friend Joe Comerford from Western Massachusetts, the two of us represent the out LGBT caucus in the Senate, and I have 5 wonderful, amazing, inspirational colleagues in the House as well. It is good always to be with Senator Markey. But it is concerning that we have to be here on these courthouse steps in 2020. And I want to thank Senator Markey not only for being here today, but really for showing up, believing in, and fighting for our community long before it was cool. Much like your sneakers, sir. That Senator Markey was with us long before most politicians in this state were with our community, with the LGBT community, and certainly nationally. And it's thanks to the wisdom and the support and the friendship of visionaries like Senator Markey, in part of how the LGBTQ movement has come so far. And I want to be clear, the LGBTQ equity movement is the most successful social justice movement that we've seen in our time. And part of that is because of efforts like National Coming Out Day, right? Today on October 11th is the day that we tell our stories, and that we remember and pay honor and to the stories that we've told, because it is by telling our stories, by coming out as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, and a whole myriad of other identities in that rainbow, that we are changing the world. And that started by acting up and by refusing to accept a series of unacceptable policies, ignoring who we are as people. It continued by organizing and figuring out how we argue for and successfully win, as we did in courthouses like this. Our rights and freedoms are guaranteed under the Constitution, and it has continued. I look at, you know, I'm the youngest member of the Senate, but I feel like a dinosaur at 34 when I look at LGBTQ youth in this Commonwealth and across the nation, across the world, who continue to challenge people like me, and really challenge all of us to think about how gender and sexual orientation challenge us more fully to realize how broad and full that can be. And I think it's really important that we remember that even today in 2020, that coming out is still a radical and courageous act. It's radical and courageous because for too many, it is still a risk. They are still put in harm's way. I'm thinking about my siblings, my sisters, transgender women, trans folk, queer folks of color, all too often are put at risk simply by being who they are. And it's radical and courageous because the rights that we've worked so hard to secure and to achieve are so very much on the line. And the fragility of those rights with a 5-4 decision have all become, that fragility has become all the more stark with the passing of the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And that is just, I kind of can't believe it, you know? It's 2020, and you think that that this can't happen, that we have come too far, and that we've seen with the nomination of this judge, the Supreme Court, what will be at stake if this is realized. And so we need to fight like hell to make sure that Judge Amy Coney Barrett is not confirmed in the Supreme Court, that this court seat is not stolen. But I also think that we need to double down on telling our stories, because I think on National Coming Out Day, and as a queer person, look, it feels different to be queer in 2020 than it did in 2003 and 2004 when I came out. I actually remember where I was when the Goodrich decision was announced. I was driving piano lessons. I was a senior in high school. I was driving my 1990 Toyota Camry wagon to piano lessons. I was listening to NPR, and the announcement of the Goodrich decision comes on. And I, hadn't expected this, and I actually wasn't out to my family, wasn't out to my parents. But I called my mom at the time, and I was so excited, and that decision actually was the catalyst that helped me actually come out a short time later to my family, to my parents, and really begin to live my true self. And so the power of these rulings save lives and allow us to more fully realize the full potential of everyone who lives in this Commonwealth and everyone who lives in this country. And the prospect of that being taken away is terrifying, and we will put lives at risk if this judge is confirmed to be seated on the U.S. Supreme Court. And so I think what we just have to keep on doing, if we're not fortunate to be in the shoes of Senator Markey and Senator Warren and the other senators who are going to fight this nomination, we've got to keep telling our stories. Because through telling our stories and by coming out, we have changed so much in this society. And in truth, our opponents have already lost. If you talk to my generation and younger generations, this is a fight that's over. There are so few, there's not no one, but there are so few individuals of younger generations and of older generations who believe that LGBTQ people aren't entitled to the fullness of the American promise and to the fullness of the rights that are enshrined in the Constitution. And so what we've got to do today on National Coming Out Day and every day going forward, as our forebearers have done, is to act up, is to be out, is to tell our stories, is to talk about who we are. And through that is how we're going to continue to persevere. That is how we're going to continue to save lives. And that is how, as LGBTQ people, as queer people, and as folks who are allies to our community, that we're going to continue to change this country and to make sure that this country lives up to the promise guaranteed to us under the Constitution. So I want to thank you all for being here today. It is my honor to introduce my friend Holly Ryan. Holly is a member of the Newton City Council, but before running for office, she has been a leading activist and agitator and organizer here in this state. It really matters when out people not only tell our stories, not only organize, but when we run. And I'm really proud of Holly for taking that leap, for running for office, and for now representing Newton and transgender people all around this Commonwealth and country. So I want to introduce my good friend Holly Ryan. So first I'm going to mask up and I'm going to sanitize this microphone. So thank you so much, and Holly Ryan.